So now I am going to discuss with you all about deletion, which is one of the topics related with the structural changes in chromosome. Now, normally, loss of a chromosome segment is known as deletion, right? When the missing segment contains telomere of the affected chromosome, it is called as terminal deletion, and such type of terminal deletions are very uncommon because if the telomeric regions, which are the ends of the chromosome, if the telomeric regions are lost, then the chromosome becomes unstable. Telomeres protect the ends of the chromosome from the end replication problem that I have discussed with you in your molecular biology class, and the telomeres protect the ends of the chromosome so that the chromosome to make the chromosome stable, so that it does not so that it does not tends to unite with other damaged end. But this type of deletions are very uncommon where your the terminal regions are going to be deleted. Okay, so here in this figure you see a terminal deletion. Here you see the normal chromosome having this arrangement A B C D E F G H on one hand. Okay, and you see the AB portion has been deleted. That this type of deletion is called terminal deletion. Such type of deletions are very uncommon because it makes the chromosome very much unstable, and it will try to reunite with similar damage end. However, in most deficiencies, in most deletion, the missing segment do not contain telomere. Such type of deletions are called interstitial or intercalary deletion. See what happened. This is the normal chromosome segment. Now the region between C and D, this segment is removed out, deleted. Two breaks occur and it is deleted, and then they again rejoin. So an interstitial deletion or intercalary deletion results after two breaks are induced. So two breaks from here and from here, two breaks are induced, and the terminal part, that means this AB part, then again rejoin with the main body, and it reunite, while the fragment that is being produced, that is the CD fragment, here the CD fragment is going to be lost. Why? Because it does not have any centromere, so it will be easily degraded or lost from the cell. So as you can see that if there is a loss of such a segment in the chromosome which has some important functions in our body, then it will have a deleterious effect on diploid organisms. Not so much on polyploid because they have more than two sets of chromosome. If even if one of the chromosome have any deletion, then it will not having any problem. But in case of diploid organism, loss of a chromosome segment will have a deleterious effect on diploid organism, and most deficiencies act as recessive lethals relatively to large deficiencies that may produce dominant lethal effect. So again I repeat, so it is saying that loss of a chromosome segment have a deleterious effect on diploid organisms, and most of the deficiencies act as recessive lethals rather than large deficiencies which produce dominant lethal effects. So I think you have known about the dominant and the recessive lethal. Still I try to explain little bit in briefly here in this class. So what is allele? What is allele? If anyone knows, you can comment me on your WhatsApp group, in my WhatsApp group. So what is allele? If I say about allele, allele are any of the different forms of a particular gene. So allele is any of the different forms of a particular gene that occupies the same locus as other alleles of the same gene. So normally allele is your different forms of a particular gene, such as eye color. There are different types of eye color: brown eye color, black eye color, blue eye color. Okay, a exceptional case, green eye color is also present, very exceptional, less than 1% in our world population. So that is the allele. It codes for a particular gene. It occupies the same location, same locus in the chromosome as other alleles of the same gene. So allele is basically different form of the same gene. Just like if I say the operating system in computer, there are different types of operating system. Linux, there is your Windows operating system, Windows 98, 95, Windows Vista, Windows Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows 10 Home. So these are what? These are all are same thing. All are operating system, but they are little bit different from one another. But basically, they are the different forms of that same operating system. Similarly, allele is like that. Allele is basically different forms of the same gene, like gene for the eye color, which is located on a specific location, or you can say locus, but that gene could have different forms as well, and that's why we have different eye colors. Now these alleles or the genes are located on specific region on the chromosome, and that region is known as the location or locus. The plural form of locus is loci, L-O-C-I, L-O-C-I-I, loci. Okay, so genes are located at specific location, or you can say locus on the chromosome. Loci means more than one location. One allele will be different from the other allele by only a few DNA base pairs. Now there are two different types of allele, if I say. One is called dominant allele. One is called dominant allele. This you have learnt in your class 12 biology classes. And another one is called recessive allele. So two different forms of alleles are found, dominant and recessive. What does dominant allele do? Dominant allele, if you go through the dictionary term dominant, it means they always try to occupy, always try to express themselves. So here also the dominant allele always try to express themselves in spite of their occurrence in the same gene loci of both chromosomes, or in just one gene locus of the chromosome. Now we are all diploid, we know, and chromosome always occur in pairs. Chromosome always occur in pairs. This is the pair from father and this is the pair from mother. So this is the pair from mother. So chromosome always occur in pair. Suppose this is the chromosome pair, chromosome number 1 pair, one from maternal, one from paternal. So chromosome always occur in pairs, and one chromosomal set we get from father, another chromosomal set we get from mother. And these identical male and female parent chromosomes that occur in pair are known as homologous chromosomes. Now in these homologous chromosomes that we are saying, suppose this is the homologous chromosome number 1. One chromosome number 1 we get from mother, another chromosome number 1 we get from father. Now they have the same genes located at identical locations within the chromosome, within the arms of the chromosome, right? And there you can get the dominant and lethal allele. So dominant allele are those allele which will express themselves in spite of their occurrence in the same gene loci, or of both the chromosomes, or in just one gene locus of the chromosome. Like for example, the dominant allele for the eye color, if it is present on the maternal chromosome, and if recessive allele is present on the same location, recessive allele is present on the paternal chromosome, as dominant allele have a tendency to express itself in spite of having recessive allele, then also it will express fully in the chromosomes phenotypically. So that's how the dominant allele comes, and we represent the dominant allele or gene with the help of capital letter. Like you have learned in your molecule, you have learned in class 12 that for the tall p plant, we represent the tall p character as capital T and small dwarf t plant as small t. So the small t represents the recessive allele, while capital T represents the dominant allele. Sometimes we also give a plus symbol to at the subscript to represent the dominant allele. So dominant allele will always express themselves in spite of their occurrence in the same gene location of both the maternal and paternal chromosome, or if it is located in just one of the location on the chromosome, that's enough, it will express itself. But in case of recessive allele will only be expressed when both of the gene loci are recessive for that particular character. Recessive allele will only be expressed when both of the gene loci are recessive for a particular character. That simply means if this is one chromosome and if this is another chromosome taken from father, the same homologous chromosome, and suppose if this location of the chromosome have recessive allele and on that same location there is another recessive allele for that same character, then only they will express. Otherwise, if dominant allele is present on that location for that character, then dominant allele will express, recessive allele will not express. Recessive allele will only be expressed if your both recessive alleles are present on the same gene location for that particular character within the chromosomes, within the homologous chromosomes. So this was about the dominant allele and recessive allele. Okay, another term that I want to say is about the homozygous and heterozygous. Then we will go for the dominant lethal and recessive lethal. It is saying that in homozygous condition there will be two identical allele for that particular character, that is said to be pure homozygous. So homozygous means an organism having two identical allele for a particular character. Let's say for example the allele for the let's say for example the allele for the eye color. Better to discuss about the plant. Okay, suppose this is a chromosome, homologous chromosome of a plant. Homologous chromosomes for the plant, and suppose at this location there is a dominant allele representing the tallness of the plant. In the same location there is also the same allele represents the tallness of the plant, so that will be called as homozygous. Similarly, if in that location there is gene for the dwarfness, small t, then and here also if it represents the dwarfness at the same location, then also it's said to be homozygous condition. So any organism having two identical allele for that particular same character are said to be pure or homozygous. Oftenly we represent capital T as homozygous for the tallness of the pea plant you have studied in class 12, and for the dwarfness, for the dwarf homozygous we represent small t. It just means that on the two chromosomes, on the homologous chromosomes from father and from mother, we have this dominant gene, we have this dominant allele for the tall character, and we have the dominant gene, we have the recessive gene for the dwarf character. There is another term called heterozygous. In heterozygous, an organism having two dissimilar alleles or contrasting alleles of a gene pair are called heterozygous. That simply means in one chromosome there is a dominant allele, and in another and its homologous chromosome have a recessive allele for that particular character. That is said to be heterozygous. So heterozygous simply mean an organism with two dissimilar allele or contrasting allele of a given pair are called heterozygous. And heterozygous receives the two alleles for the same character derived from its two parent. That means suppose for this tall character derived from paternal, and this dwarf character received from the maternal. Now obviously this dominant gene will express itself phenotypically in the in this generation, the progeny that will get this character. Okay, now comes the dominant lethal. The first we have to say about lethal. What does lethal means? Lethal generally means lethal allele. Lethal allele. Lethal allele generally means it indicates those alleles which are responsible for the death of the organism. Whoever carries the lethal allele, it will be sterile, it will be having different types of complications, different type of disorders, and they will die before their developmental stage. So lethal allele, why it occurs, why lethal allele occurs, you will learn in your DNA repair chapter that lethal allele occurs when mutation occurs in an unusual allele that will change the function of an essential gene. Suppose, for example, there is a gene sequence. There is a gene sequence. Suppose these are the base pairs 5 prime, 3 prime, 3 prime, 5 prime. So these are, there is a gene sequence, and the name and the gene sequence are having AAGTCCT. Similarly, the opposite strand will be TTC AGGA, right? Now suppose mutation occurs. Mutation means change in the base pair, change in the base pair within the DNA or within the RNA that causes change in the formation of the protein product. So suppose this T region, this T region, what happened, it gets mutated, it gets replaced, or it gets deleted. Suppose I have deleted this region, deleted this region. Okay, and what will happen if this region is getting deleted? Then the region now due to this change in the base pair, so the base pair is now getting changed. And remember, I have said about the codons, the codon function, that codons code for the amino acid, and codons represent three nucleotides. So three nucleotide sequence make one codon, and each codon will code for a particular amino acid. Like AAG, it will code for a particular amino acid. Then there was T here, and TCC will represent another amino acid, and so on. So but now what happened, this T has been removed due to mutation, due to some physical mutagens like UV rays, X rays, okay, or chemical mutagens are also there, like using ethyl methane sulfonate. By using some other mutagenic agents are there, like ethidium bromide. Okay, so due to which what happened, there is change in the base pair now. there is change in the this area is missing now. So automatically what happen, your codons that will code for the amino acid will also get changed. Now it becomes CCT. Okay, instead of having TCC, now it becomes CTT here, that will code for a different amino acid. Now AA represents amino acid 1, AA represents amino acid 2. Okay, so in this way mutation occur, and due to mutation what happen, it leads to the formation of unusual allele. Okay, that with the change the function of that particular gene. Now this amino acid is not required due to mutation. Okay, and it disrupts the function, it distorts the function or make an abnormal protein product from that gene. Thus, in turn, it results in such phenotype which will be fatal to the organism that carry them. So, similarly, when a gene is getting mutated, suppose this is the DNA, and if this DNA is getting transcribed to form RNA, it is transcribing to form the RNA, and that RNA is translated to form the protein product, right? To form the protein product. Now, if that there is mutation in the DNA, if there is mutation in the DNA, if there is mutation in the DNA, what happen, it will give you a imperfect RNA, it will give an abnormal RNA, and that will creates an abnormal protein product which will have a fatal effect to the organism. Now these lethal alleles, it may be a dominant lethal allele, it may be a recessive lethal allele, depending on what type of genes, what type of alleles are involved. If the lethal allele is involved in the dominant gene, then dominant lethal genes will occur, which is very much fatal, because dominant genes or dominant alleles express themselves if even they are present on the one of the chromosomes within the homologous pair of chromosomes. So if dominant lethal alleles occur, then obviously it will produce a lethal effect, even if it is produced if it is present on only one of the chromosome within the homologous pair of chromosomes. So individual having a dominant lethal allele, they will die before they leave progeny. But a recessive lethal will only have a problem if it is present in homozygous form, because I have already mentioned to you little bit ago that recessive allele only express themselves when they are present in both chromosomes, when they are present on the same gene loci on both the pair of homologous chromosomes. So recessive allele will not pose only a problem if it is present on one chromosome. Okay, but due to homozygosity it can cause a fatal type. Okay, so this was about the lethal part, this was about what I tried to explain about the lethal alleles. So I have said here about the deletion, that most of the deletion that cause deleterious effect are dominant lethals, right? Most of the lethals that occur are dominant lethals, and dominant lethals are relatively larger deficiencies which cause very much effect. Okay, next I want to say is that cytologically we can detect this type of deletions. Cytologically means by cell study we can observe this type of deletions. Okay, but if there is a minimal deletion, it is very difficult to observe. Nowadays it is possible by using a technique called FISH. FISH. The full form of FISH is fluorescent in situ hybridization. Fluorescence in situ hybridization technique. So with the help of this technique we can identify even a minimum deleted region within the chromosome. Otherwise, for a major deletion, it is possible to identify cytologically. How? Let us see. See from here. I'm not going all of that part. What it is saying that if meiotic chromosome in such heterozygotes are examined, the region of deletion can be detected by the failure of corresponding segment on the normal chromosome to pair properly. So a deletion loop will result. So in case of heterozygote, that means in case of deletion heterozygote simply means that one of the chromosome having a deleted segment. That means you can see here A, B, but where is the CDE? CDE has been removed out. CDE has been the CDE from this lower chromosome segment has been eliminated as a result of deletion. Okay, while the upper chromosome homologous pair of chromosome, they are normal, but as the CDE region is not there, so they fail to pair, and due to failure of pairing, but they still want to pair with these homologous regions. So what they do, they form a deletion loop like structure in order to completely pair with its homologous chromosome, right? So here it is saying that if meiotic chromosomes of deletion heterozygotes, that means one of the chromosome having a deleted segment, another homologous pair does not have the deleted segment, if that type of deletion heterozygotes are examined, the region of deletion can be detected by failure of the corresponding segment on the normal chromosome to pair properly. It will not able to pair properly because in one of the chromosome there is a deleted segment, so the other segment tried to pair but it were not able to pair, so a deletion loop will be observed. Deletion loops are also detected in polytene chromosomes of Drosophila. Polytene chromosomes are actually such chromosomes which has multiple arms, just like this: one arm, two arm, three arm, four arm, multiple arms are there, and it is found on the Drosophila, especially in the larval stage. Within in the larval stage, we can able to identify this type of polytene chromosomes, where the homologous pair of chromosomes exist in permanent state pairing. So this type of event can be observed cytologically if you want to see deletion if you want to see that the if you want to study the deletion part cytologically. Now, deletion of some chromosomal regions can produce their unique phenotype. Okay, now there are small size deletions as well. Small deletion are less likely to be fatal, but large deletions are fatal, they are dangerous, and there are always variations based on what type of genes are getting deleted. Like for example, I want to discuss about a disorder, and name of that disorder is your Williams syndrome. Williams syndrome is actually caused due to deletion of about 27 genes from the long arm of one of the two chromosome number 7. So within the chromosome number 7, suppose this is the chromosome number 7, and within this chromosome number 7, the long arm, this one is your long arm, this one is your long arm which is called Q arm, and this is the short arm called P arm. So within the long arm of chromosome number 7, there is a region called region Q11.23. Let's say the region is this region Q11.23. So 2, okay, I am deleting again. Q11.23, 11.23, 3. So within this region Q11.23 of chromosome number 7, there are about 27 genes present which are needed for normal activity of the cell. Like for instance, and that region is being deleted, this region is being deleted, that leads to this type of Williams syndrome. Now there are some essential genes that are found on this region Q11.23. Like for example, it consists of a gene called ELN codes for a protein called elastin. ELN codes for a protein called elastin. This protein is needed for maintenance of your connective tissue in your cardiovascular tissue. And if this ELN gene gets deleted, because this region Q11.23 have this gene present, then what will happen, it will leads to abnormality in the connective tissue in your cardiovascular system, there will be problem. Another protein is there, like another gene which is present on this region 11 Q11.23 is BA2IB. BA2IB codes for tyrosine protein kinase. It codes for tyrosine protein kinase. It codes for TK gene or tyrosine kinase gene enzyme. We know about tyrosine kinase. It plays an important role in signal transduction pathways. Generally, this kinase enzyme it phosphorylate the tyrosine residues in the active site of some important proteins to make them active, right? So in this way I have mentioned only two genes, but there are more 25 genes found on this region which are going to be deleted and cause Williams syndrome. And why deletion occurs? Due to mutation, due to translocation, many causes are there that causes deletion. And what are the symptoms that occurs in this Williams syndrome? Those who are facing Williams syndrome, what type of symptoms we see? Heart defect, because elastin is getting to be deleted. Unusual facial features, your mouth, your nose, all the facial features will be little bit peculiar. Arrangement of that muscle is peculiar. Low muscle tone, that means there will be low muscle tone. Williams syndrome will face low muscle tone. Now low muscle tone, it simply means for you, it simply means for you there will be reduced in your muscle strength. IQ level will be low. For that reason, special treatment are given, special education programs are being provided to the patients who are suffering from Williams syndrome. They will not go to normal school. Special education will be provided to them by the specialist who are suffering from Williams syndrome. Various kind of therapy is provided. Okay, various kind of therapy are given, like for example they are being avoided for calcium, extra calcium and vitamin D, otherwise some sort of metabolic problems will occur. Gastrointestinal defect will occur. Okay, like for example colic is a condition which normally occurs those who are having this gastrointestinal disorder. Colic is a type of pain. It is a type of pain that starts and stops abruptly, that occurs due to muscular contraction of our hollow organ like colon, gallbladder, ureter, in an attempt to relieve an obstruction by forcing the content out. That's why due to forcing the content out we feel that pain. This is like a gallstone, gallbladder stone. What happened? It creates an obstruction That's why the muscle force the try to force that fluid, the force that fluid out, and that's why we feel pain when we have a gallstone. Similarly, like that, colic is this type of disorder which does not due to the not effect of the stone, but the muscles, due to the low elastin content, our muscle tone is weaker. That's why this type of pain occurs, right? So this is an example of such type of deletion. Now, in case of other animals, deletion of some chromosomal regions produce their own unique phenotypes as well. A very good example is the deletion of one specific small chromosomes in the region of in the chromosome number 1 region of Drosophila. It has been shown that when one homologue carries the deletion, the fly shows a unique notch wing phenotype. So it is written here, you will see. So it is saying here that deletion of some chromosome regions produce their own unique phenotype. A very good example is the dominant notch wing mutation in Drosophila. In this case, there is a small deletion and it will act as recessive lethal in this regard, because it is not fatal. No, it creates a notch wing. I think you know about what is notch. In mobile phone you get a notch display, that is a V-shaped cut display. So here the wing is just like a V-shaped cut. That type of phenotype will be observed in Drosophila. Drosophila are actually fruit flies that normally you found them when you cut a ripened fruit in front of your room. Now, further what happened, one special thing can also occur in the presence of deletion. Sometimes what happen, recessive allele of the normal homologous chromosome will try to behave like a dominant allele. So sometimes what happen in presence of deletion, suppose the phenotype that was going to be expressed, that allele for that phenotype is deleted, then what happened, the recessive allele which is present on another on that same homologous chromosome will try to behave like a dominant allele. It will be phenotypically expressed. This phenomenon is called as pseudo dominance. So pseudodominance simply means in the presence of deletion, the recessive allele of the normal homologous chromosome will try to behave like a dominant allele. It will behave phenotypically expressed, and this type of phenomenon is called as pseudodominance. I can say more about pseudodominance. You can see more about pseudodominance, which will be given. Pseudo normally means false, and dominance, trying to dominate the other genes. So pseudodominance simply is a phenomenon. It is a condition where the recessive allele will try to mimic. It will try to mimic, just like a mimicry. It will try to mimic the pattern of a dominant allele. Now, we all know that in humans we are diploid organisms. We have two copies of every gene. We have two alleles for that every gene, and these alleles can be dominant or recessive. Now, for a dominant allele to be expressed, one copy is enough, and dominant allele expressed even when they are in heterozygous condition also. But for a recessive allele to be expressed, there has to be two copies present. It has to be in homozygous condition. But in pseudodominance, only one copy of the recessive allele is getting expressed. That's why recessive allele here, it is mimicking like a dominant allele. If you see the image, you can able to clarify your doubt. So you can see here ABC, capital ABC and small ABC, which represents the recessive allele. The capital letters represent the dominant allele are present. Now here you can see that this region A has been lost, due to which what happened, its its homologues, they have the small a region. It is now going to be expressed in absence of this capital A allele. That's what we get the term of pseudo dominance. How a recessive allele is expressing? It's because due to the missing of this allele, missing of this dominant allele, that causes the recessive allele to be expressed in place of that dominant allele. That's how we get the phenomenon of pseudo dominance, right? Now there are various effects of deletion, like it causes a change in the frame shift mutation. What is frame shift mutation? I have already said with this term. Now we all know about the codons. Initially I have said about the codon. um, Codon are 3 nucleotide long decoding elements. Codons are 3 nucleotide long decoding element. Okay, say suppose A G. These 3 nucleotide make one codon. In the same way, there are multiple codons GCCG, UUA. I am showing RNA. Okay, CCG. This is another codon. This is another codon. Codon 2, codon 3. So in this way, series of codon arrange themselves together to form what we call as open reading frame. So open reading frame are actually series of codons that code for the same amino acid that do not ever overlap, and that series of the codons start from the start codon, it begins from the start codon and ends at the stop codon. Now how you can know where is start codon, where is stop codon? Start codon always begin with AUG in case of eukaryotes, or UUG, okay, sorry, not UUG, or GUG. And stop codon always codes for the nucleotide as UGA, U, sorry for that, UGA, UAA, and UAG. This codon represents the stop codon. So this series of codons from start to stop codon is called open reading frame. Now within this open reading frame, each codon is coding for a particular amino acid. Now suppose if one nucleotide is going to be deleted, or two or odd numbers of nucleotides are going to be eliminated, then what will happen? It will disrupt that whole open reading frame. Let us see. Suppose I am writing one sequence. I am writing one sequence, an RNA sequence, better to say, 5 prime ACG AGG ACU GCA UAC, etc. CA. Okay, dot 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 3 prime. Now each codon code for a particular amino acid, right? Like, truly speaking, ACG code for threonine amino acid, AGG code for arginine amino acid, ACU code for again threonine amino acid, It means to say that more than one codon we can code for the same amino acid, not different amino acid. GCA code for alanine, UAC code for tyrosine, and these amino acids are linked together by peptide bond. It is done by peptide bond, and thus we get our desired protein product that further fold onto itself, secondary structure, forming alpha helix, beta pleated seed, beta turns, right, form quaternary structure if possible by hydrophobic interactions between more than two polypeptide chains, right. Now why I'm talking with you with this part, you see that if there is a removal of a nucleotide due to mutation, due to deletion, better to say suppose I am removing this nucleotide A, what will happen? All the system will be changed, all the system will be changed. How? Let us see. So your ACG code for threonine, AGG code for arginine, up to this much okay. Now there is no A. In place of A, now there is CUG. Now CUG will code for leucine. Previously there was threonine coded by ACU. Now it becomes CUG. Next CAU. Now these three will be involved for codon. CAU code for histidine. It codes for histidine. Previously it was alanine coded by GCA, because one nucleotide has been removed out, deletion has been occurred, that leads to the formation of this type of unusual amino acids formed by codons, shifting of the codons. Then comes ACC code for threonine. Okay, no problem. Previously USC was there, which also code for that codes for tyrosine. USC code for tyrosine, and here now it codes for threonine. Okay, so you see there will be a change in the amino acid sequence, so it will can lead to abnormal protein product that may be non-functional or over-functional, right. So deletion leads to this type of abnormality that cause serious impact in our system. There are more examples of deletion, like for example deletion in the uh, short arm of chromosome number 5 leads to a serious syndrome called Cry-Du-Chat syndrome. Okay, let us see that example. So you can see here the Cry-Du-Chat syndrome, who named by famous, it is a French name, Cry-Du-Chat. Cry-Du-Chat simply means cry of a cat. Okay, and it simply occurs due to deletion of short arm of chromosome number 5. Okay, it is also called as 5p monosomy. You can also call them as 5p monosomy, because monosomy also means missing of a chromosome or chromosomal fragment. So the short arm of chromosome number 5 is lost, that leads to Cry-Du-Chat syndrome. And those who are suffering from Cry-Du-Chat syndrome, they have some of the conditions like their IQ level will be below 20. Why? Why their IQ level is below 20, that has not been mentioned here. I try to say within this 5p, within this short arm of chromosome number 5, within this short arm of chromosome number 5, suppose this is the short arm, the p arm of chromosome number 5, within this region there it encodes a gene, and that gene is CTNND2. CTNND2. CTNND2 gene provides instruction to make a protein called delta catenin. This gene, this gene in it actually it provide instruction. It provides instruction to make a protein called delta catenin. Okay, this protein is active in nervous system and likely to help the cells stick together and plays a role in cell movement actually. So this delta catenin helps the cell in the nervous system to stick together and also plays an important role in cell movement. Okay, and due to loss of this CTNND2 gene, it causes severe intellectual disability in some people with this condition, right? So this is what we get from the Cry-Du-Chat syndrome, which was actually described by Lejeune et al. In 1963. Okay, so that's why we say the Cry-Du-Chat syndrome as 5p minus syndrome. Minus represents deletion. Deletion of what? P, short arm of chromosome number 5. So there are more to go, more about the your deletion part. If I say about the deletion, what are the cause of deletion, what are the causes of deletion? The first cause of deletion is your loss. Wait, I have written wrong here. Largely the first cause of deletion is losses from translocation. Now you know that translocation. In the previous video I have said that translocation is a phenomenon that results in unusual rearrangement of chromosomes, and it is a type of chromosome abnormality where a chromosome break and a portion of that chromosome break reattaches to a different chromosome. That can lead to deletion of that particular chromosome. Okay, so translocation of chromosome occurs by breakage and reunion of that chromosome to another homologous to a non-homologous pair of chromosomes. Second, during inversion, I have said about inversion that if this is the chromosome and suppose these are the suppose this BCD, these region are involved in inversion, it breaks, and after breaking what happen? It breaks and rejoin. It rejoin. So during chromosomal inversion also it this is called inversion, but due to chromosomal inversion it can also leads to deletion, and inversion involves two breaks, you can see here, and the broken segment has to rotate 180-degree, as you can see. Now it becomes DCB instead of having BCD, and then it has to reunited at the two break points. If they not able to do so, then what will happen? This is what they will face, this is what will be their fate. A E F G H, while the B C D will be lost as an acentric fragment because they don't have any centromere like this. they don't have any centromere, so they will be lost. This is their what their fate will occur. Okay, then breakage without rejoining. Chromosomal breakage without rejoining of the chromosomes can also leads to deletion. Okay, now normally we know during crossing over that occurs between the chromosomes, that for a synapses to occur between a chromosome with large intercalary deficiency and normal complete homologue, the unpaired region of the normal homologue must looped out of the linear structure into a deletion or compensation loop. So normally what happen during your synapses, during your packeting stage, we all know that the homologous chromosome has to align themselves, the homologous chromosome has to align themselves. But what happened during that time, the chromosome having a large deletion, here there is a deletion of CDE fragment that has been present in this chromosome. Okay, so deletion of this large fragment, and when the pairing occur, when synapsis is occurring, exchange of chromosome segment is being occurring between the chromosome having large intercalary deficiency with normal complete homologue, the unpaired region of that normal homologue has to loop out to form a deletion loop in order to pair, right? This type of loop is also called as compensation loop also. So this was all about the deletion. If you have any problems regarding this chapter, please ask me in the WhatsApp group. And next day I will try to discuss about the duplication, which is another aspect, which is another part of your structural changes in chromosome. After doing all of these structural changes and numerical changes in chromosome, including the karyotype analysis, then I will try to give you some of the questions to answer. Try them to answer after watching all these videos, studying all these videos, including my notes. Okay, so that's all for today.